YouTube? Antoine here from Antoine's Aquarium Antics. What are we doing today? Water changes. Sold some fish this morning, some compressicept fry. Had to remove a dangerous lay lupi who was eating eggs that I'm trying to raise, so got rid of him from the other 100-gallon. Right here, what we got are 200-gallon setups. Two 100-gallon setups. I got an acrylic. Both of them are 5 feet. The only difference is one is a little shorter and a little deeper. The other one's a little taller, a little more narrow. But here's where I house my Lake Tanganyika community tanks. So this tank right here, I've got Cyprichromis, Leptosoma, the tricolor. I've got Cyprichromis microlepidotus, Kasai. I've got a shell dweller in here, Telemachromis vittatus. I've got Gelitochromis transcriptus gombi in here. I've got a albino bristlenose pleco male, pretty big. Got the long bristles, cool to look at. And then I also have what I believe to be a male that's almost up to sexual maturity and a female that's laid eggs for me before compressicept, Altolamprologus compressicept talama. So that's the extraction point. And then over there, right there, I've got my Frontosa colony. I've got a mating pair of compressicept talama. And I have a couple of different types of Synodontis catfish. And I also have Gelitochromis. Oh, forgive me, it's not coming to me right now. Another Julie over there, Malaria, I believe. Unsumbu is the extraction point. So, rearranging the tanks a little bit because I had to take stuff out. Whenever I take stuff out, I like to move stuff around, change the dynamic up of the tank, help stop aggression, things like that. So, without further ado, we're going to get to the water change process, how I do things. I'm going to show you guys a little bit. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. So, instead of using like a siphon, you know, the old school gravel vacs, what I've invested in is a pump. And I had two of them. One of them burnt out. So now I'm stuck to one. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be using, you know, certain things in one tank and then put them in another." Look, my tanks. I had one fish die today. It was a pleco in my 55-gallon. He got injured. I don't think I noticed it in time, and he succumbed to that. But other than that, I don't really have fish die. Like, my tanks are well cycled. They've been going for a while now, and I don't have fish die. Not saying it can't happen, but I keep up on my husbandry, so I don't worry about cross-contamination. I don't have ick. I don't have anything like that. No sunken belly, anything like that. So I use the same pump for both tanks, for all the tanks pretty much, except for the smaller ones. I have a smaller one. But the benefit of having two of these is you could be draining and you can pretty much have one of them, you can drain 2 tanks at a time. So you can get the work done in twice as fast. So I will end up getting another one of these. Also, what I invested in is 25-foot, 3/4-inch rubber hose so that I can run the stuff to the bathtub or to the sink or out into the plants over here or into the plants outside. So it's great for the plants outside. You run the water from your tanks outside and benefits the plants. So I just have options. You know, I live in an apartment, so I'm doing the most in an apartment. If my kids are in the bath or something, I can't run it to the bath, so I got to run it to the sink, or I got to run it outside. So it's good to have extra long hoses for any situation. So if I had a dedicated fish room with a mud sink and things like that, or a garage, wouldn't have to do that. But because I'm in a confined space, limited space, I have to make the best with what I have, right? And I'm already doing the most, like I said. Make sure you have renter's insurance. Don't just bring, you know, fish tanks into your apartment without asking. And I'm on the 2nd story, so this is about as big as I can get without compromising the integrity of the joists, at least from what I believe. So what do I use in my fish tanks? and this is not a sponsored video, but I use primarily Chem products just because they work. So what do I use? I'll show you everything I use. Stability. Some people say you don't need that if your tanks are well cycled. I use it anyways, and I buy the big bottles so you're not going to the store and having to spend a bunch of money every other week because I have big tanks. I have a lot of tanks. I got 11 tanks. So what else do I use? Cichlid trace. Use cichlid trace. Trace elements that are beneficial for the health and life of your cichlids. A non-Chem product that I love a lot, Rift Lake cichlid salt. So I can replicate as much as I can the environment in Lake Tanganyika, right? I don't add pH, I guess you could say pH solution or supplement, because I put crushed coral bags in my filters, and I put crushed coral in the substrate. Now, I would recommend putting it in mesh bags so that you can replace it every 6 months because it does lose, I guess you could say, its elemental charge. So keep that in mind. Also, I use Pristine. So what Pristine is it's a natural organic waste manager that helps break down detritus and things like that. I don't gravel back. I do not gravel back. And I haven't had any problems with my fish. So I don't gravel back. I just use the Pristine, and my fish are doing well. And last but not least, the most important thing, prime. So if you do not dechlorinate your water, you will kill your fish. I don't live on a well. I live in an apartment. And I live in an urban area where they're constantly treating the water, and the levels of the chloramine spike, then they drop, then they spike, then they drop. So I make sure that I always use prime with every water change. Don't forget, and supposedly it's safe up to 5 times the recommended amount. So if you forget, oh, did I dose it? Did I not dose it? Just go ahead and dose it again. You're not going to kill your fish. Make sure that you have circulation because it does deplete the water of oxygen. But if you forget, just redose it. They'll be fine. They'll thank you because they won't be dead. All right, so that's how I treat the water. Now, how do I fill the tank, right? I have a tote over in the sink. And in that tote, I fill the water, and then I put the supplements in the water. And then I take my pump, drop it in there, and then I run it through the top of my acrylic tank. Before that, I had a glass tank, a glass 90-gallon right here. What I would do is I have the black clips that come with the python siphons. Just put them on, put the hose through, boom. All right. Have I ever flooded the kitchen? I have. And if anybody that does water changes and keeps fish says they've never flooded something, they're lying to you. You get multitasking, you forget about something, you got kids, you got, boom, and then all of a sudden you hear water pouring out. So I'm getting a lot better at not doing that. I ask my family and my wife to just leave me alone while I'm doing the water changes, right? So that I don't flood anything. Because you get too deep in a conversation, you pick up a phone call, anything, you could end up flooding your kitchen, flooding wherever you're doing the water change at. So just be cautious of that. All right, and so we will get going on the actual water change. Before we get to the actual water change, though, forgot to tell you. So, take these out here. Today I sold some fish, but I also traded some too. So I had 5 Altolamprologus Compressiceps Talama grow outs that were good size, about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. Sold those, but I also traded the guy 2 adult size Ophthalma tilapia nasutas. Male and a female, most likely is what the guy said. Hopefully they are, so they can breed. I also have 6 Nasuta grow outs in my 55-gallon in my fish room, but I'm going to add those in right now. I always like to add fish in when I'm doing a water change, just because everybody's already in a slight state of stress and, oh, rubber band just shot into the tank. Wow. Couldn't do that again if I tried. So I just popped the bag and the rubber band just shot into the tank. But I like to add the fish while everybody's disturbed so that nobody's picked them. And that can happen when you're adding new fish. you know, you add them into an already established tank, territory is already set, things like that, you could actually cause the other fish to get attacked. So what I like to do is I rearranged this tank today. I should have recorded that. Sorry, I didn't. But changed up the aquascape, changed things up so everybody's finding their new territories right now, and I'm going to add the fish right now. Then I'm going to start the water change, and everybody should be fine. So without further ado, welcome home. Aldama, tilapia, and the sudas. Let's get these going. All right. Oh yeah, they got some beautiful colors. You can already see it. Definitely got a male in there. Definitely got a male in there. That is awesome. So we're going to check that out. We're going to look at them real quick. Just check them out. One of them looking beautiful. I believe that's the female. And then the male, I believe, is right there. There he is. He's already got some color. You can see him. Even in his stressed state, his head is orange. He's beautiful. Beautiful. And there's the female that I believe he came with. So that's going to be awesome to see them not stressed and colored up. But yeah, this is my acrylic 100-gallon. Just changed up the aquascape today. If you guys like it, drop a comment down below. If there's something you think I could change or add, drop a comment down below. He's already coloring up. That is beautiful. Let's go take a look at my other tank too. Getting ready to do a water change over here as well. I'm going to redo the aquascape in here. I got a spider plant just floating, and yeah, I had to take everything out, pretty much move stuff around so that I could take a fish out. That's the only bad part about when you need to catch fish in a community tank that has a Tanganyika and aquascape. A lot of times you have to remove the rocks. So, but I had a murderer living in the tank, so I had to get him out of there. He was a cool fish. Neolamprologus lupi, male, had a nice little nuchal hump, but he was consistently eating the eggs of my compressor 7. I'm not having that over here. So, had to send him away. All right, well, let's get started on that water change. All right, so we're over here at the sink, and what we're going to do is we're going to just dose stuff. We're going to get the dosing down. So, when you buy the big bottles, you have to remember that it's not your regular small bottle dosing cap sizes, so you have to remember that. I happen to have a brand new bottle of Seachem Prime. Oh, to measure the temperature, make sure I have accurate water temperature when I'm replenishing the tank, I use a meat thermometer, a digital meat thermometer, and I have an infrared thermometer as well, but this is one of the most accurate things that I've come across. Taylor brand digital meat thermometer. Make sure that the water temperatures are correct. I like to do my water changes between 78 and 80 degrees. That's what I keep my Tanganyikas at, 78 and 80 degrees. Right now, the water's been sitting just for a little bit, so it's at 78 degrees on the money, 78.1. So that's the temperature I keep my fish at. I've heard people say that, you can keep Tanganyikans all the way down to 74 degrees. I wouldn't recommend it. The reason why, yeah, they'll be less aggressive, but if you're trying to breed or spawn, you won't have as much success. And the key though with keeping Lake Tanganyikan fish is to keep the water consistent. So don't chase pH. Unless you have a wild caught group, keep your water quality just consistent. So most of these fish are tank raised. So with that said, they're not going to demand wild type water quality that is exactly resembling where they came from. But the closer you can get it to that, the more naturally they will behave. So that's the whole thing right there. Is to try to replicate as much as possible the environment that they're from, so that you can get the results from them living in the wild. So right here, getting ready to dose the pristine. Like I said, I don't gravel back, so I do buy this. Some people say it's a gimmick. You don't need to do a water change. You don't need any of these chemicals, blah, 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 blah. It all depends also, too, on what you're keeping in the stock of your tank. For me, I want to keep my fish healthy. I've seen it work. Like I said, I don't have fish just dying. The only fish that I ever have die are my plecos, and they're not dying tremendously, rapidly. It's always one, a random one. Right now I have a bunch of bristlenose fry in there, and I think that I just might have dumped them out of their cave a little early, and a lot of them were dying off. So, but other than that, I don't really have fish that are dying, so I just stick with what works for me. And Seachem does make good products. A lot of people will say that they're, again, it's all a gimmick, but show me your tank, and I'll show you mine. Let me see your success, and I'll show you my success. I'll also tell you where I've failed, too. But these products work. I also do like Fritz. Fritz is a great company as well. They make a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. I love this product that they make right here, the Cichlid Reef Lake Salt. I've actually never tried Seachem's. Never tried it. Because they had a bigger bottle online, so I got that. And so I've been rocking with that ever since. Again, you got to do what works for you. Right? You got to do what works for you. I mean, there is general theory that applies to all aquatic, all fish keeping, right? There's general principles that apply to all of it. But at the end of the day, a lot of times it's going to come down to what works best for you. So without further ado, let's get that water change going. So one thing I did forget to add is stress guard. And the reason why is because I'm adding it is because I did a lot of stuff to the tank today, a lot of moving stuff around, adding new fish. So there definitely could be some stress going on. One of the fish actually looks kind of stressed right now. So there could be stress. Normally, too, what I would add if I was adding fish to a tank and I didn't have time to quarantine it, normally I wouldn't add any fish from a store to my already established tanks. I don't want to do that. Hey, out of daddy's room. Yeah, out of daddy's room. But Paragard, if you have to add fish to your tank, you don't know where they came from, or you know the store they came from, but you question the quality that they're in, you just treat the whole tank. If you don't have space to quarantine your fish, I'd always recommend quarantining your fish. Now I know the guy that I got these fish from, so I trust him. I trust his husbandry. The fish don't have ick, they don't have sunken belly, so I've just added them into my tank, right? But I am going to add some stress guard, just because the fish got stressed out today. They had to move. I was taking fish out, putting fish in, changing their home up. So I'm going to add some Seachem stress guard. And I would recommend, if you have a lot of tanks or you have big tanks, buy the big bottles. They don't sell these at most of your mom and pop shops. So I love to support my mom and pop shops, Aquarium Depot, Lee's Feed, where else? Geysers in Yuba City. So, but a lot of times they don't sell these. So I got to get these from Amazon. And you save the money, like I said. When you buy big, you buy bulk, you save a lot of money because these chemicals can be expensive. So with that said, fish are looking good. Let's actually zoom in on the fish real quick. Hold on 1 second. So I know it's not your traditional Lake Tanganyikan aquascape because there are some plants, right? But there is Vallisneris in Lake Tanganyika. There's not a Nubius, but I just love the way it looks, and the roots are getting great. So I also got some spider plants that help suck the nitrates. I have pothos as well. I try to have those in all of my tanks, but here it is. Finished product. I love the Cyprichromis. They like the school. Beautiful fish. Yep. And I'll do an update once everybody is no longer stressed out, because a lot of fish aren't showing color, except for that guy right there. That's my alpha male right there, my Leptosoma tricolor. He's always beautiful. Stressed or not, he's always beautiful. So, but this is that male that I believe he's a male. because he was super aggressive, and he's the biggest, and he kind of has a small nuchal hump. And this is my baby right here. She's not the prettiest. Can't see because the hose is in the way, but I got her from a renowned compressicep Cyprichromis breeder. His name is Patrick Sexton. Patrick Sexton breeds some great fish. He gets a lot of wild-caught fish. He has a wonderful, awesome fish room. But he gave her to me when I bought that breeding pair over there. She got injured when she was young and jacked her face up, so she's not pretty to look at. She looks like a rhinoceros, but hey, she puts out. And when I mean puts out, the babies. Like, I have a school of fry in there from her, about 20 of them, and they are doing phenomenal. They're almost 4 months old, and so like I said, hopefully that male will take to her, and I can have 2 breeding pairs. So, but without further ado, let's get back to this water change. So tank's almost full, almost done with this water change. Like I said, we're going to do another one on the front toasted tank. But while I'm waiting for this one to fill up, I did just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of YouTubers that inspired me. Not to mention my wife and some other people really encouraging me to just, cause I was thinking, who cares what I have to say about fish? There's so many people out there that have YouTubes and cover this type of content. So they all pushed me, my dad, my wife, my mom. They all encourage me to try to monetize your hobby. You're already doing these things. Why not put the information out there? Why not try to make a little bit of money off of it? Also, Cleveland over at the Fish Corner. We're both in Sacramento, pretty local, but same thing. He always just encourages people to get out there and put the content out there. So I just want to say big shout out to my brother Cleveland. Appreciate you, bro. Who else? When I started off in this hobby, I watched a lot of Caveman Aquatics. So, shout out to Kevin, Caveman Aquatics. Who else? Boss Aquatics. Pretty sure he's in the Illinois area, Chicago. I love his channel. I love just the regular people that keep fishing. I like Cichlid Bros too, but their stuff is super high quality. They got good video editing, things like that. But I really appreciate the people that just keep it raw and unfiltered, and you get to see all the process of what they're doing. Cleveland's got a family of sons in all of his videos. His wife videotapes for him often, so it's the whole family taking part in it, and everything is not always perfect. He shows the good, the bad. So I just appreciate those type of YouTubers. Nothing is staged. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to those folks. I'm sure I missed some people, but hey, thanks everybody. I also wanted to say as well, if you have a local fish club, you should be a part of it. If you like keeping fish, a couple of reasons why. One, cool group of people, a little different. The fish keepers, they're different type of people, But, man, you can learn a lot. There's so many people in that club that have been keeping fish longer than me. And that are I'm talking ichthyologists, scientists, professors at colleges, and they really know their whole life. They're traveling the world. They're studying endangered species, studying the environments that these fish come from, how dams and populations and building and deforestation and all these things, how they play a role in impacting the fish and their natural habitat. And also, you can get really good fish. I'm talking wonderful fish for very cheap. Fish keepers are cheap. Don't be mad at me. But people want to go to the store and pay full price, but people don't want to pay full price to their friend that raises these fish, spends the time on raising these fish. So it can be hard sometimes dealing with other fish keepers. But on the bright side, you can get some great fish for extremely cheap. All the fish that I have in here, for the most part, are really expensive online or in the stores. $30 a fish, right? I got 6 Cyprichromis for $30. The last auction. Breeding trio of compressicebs, $70. For all 3 of them. So you get really good fish for really great deals. Great tanks. Okay, the tanks, the tanks sell for under $1 a gallon. There was a 75-gallon that went for $30. There was a 65-gallon with a stand and a hood and a light for $16. You cannot beat that. So I would recommend, if you're a fish keeper and you're not a part of your local aquarium club, go check it out. Go check it out. The plants, the tanks, everything you need, you can get there. You can start up that day. You get fish that aren't sick. They don't have a bunch of ick. They don't have a bunch of sunken belly. A lot of the fish stores from these wholesalers, and that's where they're getting their stuff from, the fish are sick. I wouldn't recommend putting any of those fish with your main groups. All right, but Rich Byerly, Patrick Sexton, Larry Schenkel, just to name a few, are some renowned breeders in our club. Jan Nolta, Pam Chin, her husband. These people have dedicated a lot of their life to raising this fish, and they know how to keep them, they know how to take care of them, so you don't have to worry about your fish having, cancer or tumors or ick or, wasting disease or things like that. So it's just an excellent thing to be a part of. I look forward to it every month. So that would just be a little advice for me. Join your local fish club, get plugged in with the people, see how they can help you, see how you can help them, and just grow from there. All right, so, and one thing that I forgot to talk about earlier was that amount of water that I changed. That other tank over there, the Cypricornis tank, I do smaller water changes just because they're a little more sensitive, right? So I do like 30, 40%, sometimes roughly around 30%. But my Frontosa tank, I do a 50% water change every time. They're used to that. They're doing well. And I do them every week. So I tried a bunch of different theories, every week, every other week, once a month when I was getting back to the hobby. And I had stuff that was getting sick. I had stuff that wasn't breeding. I had fish dying more often. So I have found that water changes weekly with the Tanganyikans. It keeps them in the best condition. Really it does. Now, it also depends on how big your tank is, how stocked your tank is, right? If I had a 500-gallon community tank, I'd probably do it only maybe twice a week. Bi-weekly. Or once every 2 weeks, right? If I had a larger tank. But because I have 100 gallons, that's not a big tank. It's bigger than, most normal people. But for fish keepers, that's not really that big of a tank. So I like to do them every week just to keep my fish healthy. So, and filtration-wise, what do I keep? So on the acrylic 100-gallon, I have an Eheim, one of the largest ones they make. I got it with the previous tank for free. And I have a Sun 304B. People can say whatever they want about the Sun filters, but those things are champs. They work great. Comes with a UV filter. I've heard that the UV filter, the light eats up the plastic. Just don't have it on 24/7. Turn it off, keep it on for 12 hours, turn it off, give it a break. But those are some great filters. They're not super expensive. So on that 100-gallon, I run 2 canister filters. Keeps my water good. I used to have, I love the Sea-Chem Tidal 110s. I love the Sea-Chem filters. Self-priming. If the power goes off, you don't have to worry about burning the motor up. You don't have to worry about it. So I love those filters, but I don't have space for one on my acrylic because it comes with it came pre-drilled for a sump and all these things, so there's just no space for it. So I don't have one on there. But on my 100-gallon, my glass 100-gallon, I have a FX6 and I have a Sun, same Sun I have over there. Got it off OfferUp, brand new for $50, so can't beat that. But I have a Tidal 110. Do I need to have that on there? Not necessarily, but I use it to polish the water. I put the filter floss in there, and it's good. I'm used to them. I like them, so that's what I got on here. So we're going to get going on the water change here for these guys. The stocking in this tank consists of Frontosas, and I do have a mixture of Impimwi and Burundi. I have Synodontis lucipennis, Synodontis decoris, Gelitochromis malariae unsumbu. And if I'm wrong on that name, somebody drop a comment down below, correct me on that. Oh, I'm sorry, Regani. Gelitochromis regani unsumbu. I have one Pictus cat. So my male Frontosa in Pimweek and this Pictus cat in here are two of the first fish that I had when I got back into the hobby. They haven't died. They made it through the trials, the errors, the trials, the tribulations, and they're still here. The Pictus catfish I know is not from Lake Tanganyika, and they have different water parameters, but he's used to the hard water. He's used to the high mineral content. He's used to that. So he's in here with the Lucipinus and the Decorus. I also have Varia bilichromis mori that I got from a breeder in Woodland. A good buddy of mine, his name is John Hallett. He breeds these, so I got a couple of those in there. I might move them because they swim around a lot and they kind of agitate some of the fish. So beautiful fish, but I might have to get rid of them. We'll see. I have a breeding pair of Autolamprologus compressiceps, Talama. Great group. And, I have one straggler. Lamprologus mirii. It's actually a riverine Lamprologus. It's not from Lake Tanganyika. It's a bottom dweller. It's similar to the buffalo head cichlid. When I went to Lee's Feed a couple of weeks ago and I got some fish, it was the mystery fish. They gave them to me for $7. So I was trying to figure out what it was. Did Google Lens a bunch of times and come to find out it's actually a riverine species of Lamprologus. So he's in here. Seems to be doing all right. But we'll see, if he ends up needing to be moved. But, with fish keepers, things are always changing. So I try to keep this tank consistent. There's a lot of breeding and stuff that's been going on in this tank. I have female Frontosas that are holding right now. So, but, yeah, so let's get started on that water change. All right? All right. Well, sorry, folks. My gimbal died. Should have charged it. So I have a tripod that actually films for me, follows my face, so I don't have to have somebody to do it for me. But it died, so we're kicking it old school. But anyways, what we're about to do is we're about to rescape the tank. So in this tank, I don't have any plants because these fish like to dig. The Frontosas are oftentimes making a nest, and so they like to dig, and they destroy all the plants I've ever had in here. So I don't waste my money by putting plants in here anymore. So I don't have any plants. All I have is the, I was thinking about putting a hang-on back refugium. Seen that over on Caveman Aquatics page, the hang-on back refugium. But what I do is I just put pothos, and they still sometimes eat the roots of the pothos, which is a little annoying. But what can you do? So all I have in this tank is rocks and ceramic caves. They love these caves. The Synodontis cats, especially the Lucipinus, they love these caves. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to actually rescape this again. So I like to place everything towards the back of the tank so that they have more room to swim in the front, because this isn't not a gigantic tank. So it's big enough for them right now, but eventually, as my Frontosa grow, I will need to do them justice and get them a bigger tank. But right now, while I'm in the apartment, and they're not extremely big, they're in this 100-gallon, and they seem to be doing fine. Like I said, I have a lot of spawning and a lot of stuff going on in this tank from multiple species of fish. So I'm doing something right. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something right. So, what we're doing, we're going to rescape the tank. You guys will see what it looks like after. Like I said, I would try to place everything towards the back so that they have more upfront swimming room, but at the same time, there are caves, there are crevices, there are places for them to go. I also do like to put these pleco caves in there. I don't have any plecos in here, but the reason I like to do that is because my compressiceps love these. They spawn in these quite often, and other fish love them too. The smaller fish, my Chromis, they like them a lot. They hide in them. My other types of catfish, they like them. They like to hide in them. So I like to put those in here as well for them. And I would recommend saving your money and not going on these websites that sell pleco caves because they're really expensive. This box of ceramic, oops, let's put a little water. This box of ceramic caves, I got a whole kit. Found it on Amazon for, I think it was like $40. It had over 20 caves of small to extra large. So always bargain hunt. Don't ever go with the first thing you see. Always hunt and search for something that's more affordable. Because the fish hobby is expensive, so we need to find areas wherever we can where we can save a buck or two. Because we're already spending a lot of money with the electricity, you know, everything that comes with fish keeping. We spend a lot. This is and that's why, you know, I encourage people to go to their local fish club, because that's where you're going to really find some discounts. A lot of secondhand stuff, a lot of lightly used stuff. You're going to find some things that can really save you a lot of money in the long run. For instance, a couple of months ago, I think 2 months ago, there was a garbage bag with about 25 sponge filters in it. Then there was another bag that had about 15 of the sponge filters with the little air spouts on them. Those things are $20 online, easy. But that whole bag sold for $15. So you can literally build yourself a fish room, like quit there for fairly cheap. So, like I said, I would just encourage you guys to just join your local fish club so you can save some money, meet some new people, learn. Really, that's the big thing, is just gaining experience, gaining knowledge from people that have been doing it longer than us, and people that can just add different avenues of the hobby and different things that we might not know or might not have seen. So, yep, but having a hard time finding where I'm gonna place some of this stuff. Sometimes, you know, I'm not an aquascaper, definitely not. So sometimes I don't know where to put stuff, and trying to make things look as natural as possible. But like I said, sometimes you just don't know. So, but other than that, it's pretty much this water change so far. So I'm going to put you guys on a quick pause, and I'll be back with you here shortly. All right, everybody. 3 hours later, we are all done. So, sold some fish today, traded some fish today. All in all, a good day. It's raining outside here in Sacramento, California, so you couldn't do much outside today, but sold those compressiceps, got the 2 ophthalma tilapia, so prayerfully I can start breeding those. Those are good fish to have. But yeah, did 2 water changes, showed you guys a little bit of how I do my water changes. Like I said, I live in an apartment, so my I don't have a whole lot of space to do things, so I have to find a system that works good for me. And I will definitely say that the Vivo Sun aquarium pumps with the 50-foot hoses works great, because you can go and do wherever you need to. You can empty your water wherever you need to empty it. So like I said, sometimes I empty it outside on the ivy, which is growing amazing in that area. It's thriving, or to the tub or to the sink, just whatever's available, right? So make best with what you have. We'll take a quick look now that everything is put back together, established. Everybody's a little less stressed. So let's take a look at what's going on. Like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is just a little look into my fish, my tanks, how I take care of my fish, water changes, etc., things like that. Things that go into my tank, filtration, lights, all that decor. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I know it's been a little long, but I just kind of want to show you guys all the ins and outs of my bigger tanks and what I do to keep them going efficiently, and how I keep my fish healthy. Big shout out to the Fish Corner, Cleveland over there at the Fish Corner. That brother really motivated me, and life gets busy, right? Life gets busy. People have jobs, people have bills, family, hardship, all these things, right? So I just appreciate real people that take the time out to really dive into the hobby and thrive in it and share their experiences and the goods and the bads, right? So big shout out to Cleveland over there at the Fish Corner. God bless you and your family. Appreciate you guys. Big shout out to Boss Aquatics. That man's doing it too. He shows the good and the bad, the ins and the outs. So, and he's making a business out of his hobby, out of what he enjoys to do. So, Lord willing, one day I'll be able to do the same thing. But those are just some guys. Cichlid Bros, I like their stuff. They're cool. They got some nice tanks, and they do some DIY stuff as well. So it's always motivating to see people build things with their own hands and for those things to thrive and to flourish. So shout out to them. I already shouted out Caveman Aquatics. That's the dude who I watched pretty much for when I first got into the hobby, or got back into the hobby. A lot of educational stuff. A lot of people hate on that man, but you know what? If it wasn't for that guy, a lot of people wouldn't be YouTubers. So big shout out to them. Shout out to Jason and Jeff over at Aquarium Depot. That's where, if I didn't get my fish from Sacramento Aquarium Society, I most likely got it over from Aquarium and Reptile Depot. So big shout out to them. Shout out to Geysers. Shout out to Lee's Feed. Lee's Feed is an awesome store too. It's kind of far from where I live, but it's worth it, and the customer service is phenomenal. So, and shout out to the Sacramento Aquarium Society. That's the family. So you guys have a blessed day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to go over my fish room, and I look forward to sharing that with you guys. So you guys have a blessed day. Take care.